Welcome back to Panoramic Mystery Events. Tonight, we're opening the file on episode 6, the darkest and most extended chapter yet. We're going to connect 3 chilling, seemingly unrelated incidents that unfolded across the globe, each leaving behind more questions than answers. This is the last door, the desert caller, and the mountain replacement. Our first story takes us to Stuttgart, Germany. The time is 23:14. A young office worker is leaving his building for the night. Everything appears perfectly normal. The corridor cameras track his every move. He walks down the stairwell, takes the elevator to the lobby, and heads for the main exit. Routine, mundane, until the very last moment. As he steps through the building's final door, something impossible happens. The security camera outside records him exiting. The heavy glass door closes behind him. Then, for exactly 1 second, every single street camera within a 40-meter radius blacks out simultaneously. Just 1 second of darkness. When the footage returns, the man is gone. The sidewalk is completely empty. He has vanished into thin air. Where he stood just a moment before, there's now only a small, folded white note. When the police arrive and carefully unfold it, they find a single, cryptic sentence written inside. The next door isn't yours, but the truly terrifying detail was discovered later during the forensic analysis of the footage. During that 1-second blackout, all 14 cameras, despite being offline, captured something. In the upper left corner of every single frame, the same eerie image was burned into the data. A tall, broad-shouldered shadow figure, completely featureless. And the timestamp on every single one of those glitched frames read the exact same time. 23:14 and 14 seconds. The case file was officially named The One Who Waits Outside Doors. From the cold streets of Germany, we travel to the vast, burning sands of the Moroccan Sahara. 2 tourists are driving their jeep across the remote desert landscape. The sun is setting, casting long, strange shadows across the dunes. Suddenly, a voice crackles through their jeep's radio. The problem, the radio is completely turned off. It's not even wired to a power source. The voice is a disembodied whisper, and it says, "Stay on the path." The tone isn't human. It sounds like 2 separate voices are speaking at once, their words woven through the sound of wind and sand. Unsettled, one of the tourists decides to step out of the jeep to get some water from their supplies. The moment his feet touch the sand, the desert falls unnaturally silent. The wind stops. The sound of insects vanishes. There is a total, profound absence of sound. Then, the person filming notices something that defies all logic. The man's shadow isn't moving with him. It lags behind by a full second, sometimes stopping altogether while he continues to walk. A blood-curdling scream suddenly erupts from behind a nearby sand dune, but the sound doesn't echo outward as it should. Instead, it seems to repeat itself, as if the desert itself is mocking the scream, throwing it back at them. The camera pans over, and what it captures is impossible. 2 identical silhouettes are standing there. They wear the same clothes, have the same build, and hold the exact same posture, but one of them is leaving footprints in the sand, and the other one isn't. Then, in perfect unison, both figures turn to face the camera. Their eyes are complete, empty, black voids. The footage glitches violently. A powerful, unseen force shoves the jeep 2 meters backward, leaving a set of reverse tire tracks in the sand. And there, written on the dusty hood of the vehicle, traced in the very sand that surrounds them, is a message. He followed the wrong voice. The tourist who stepped out of the jeep was never seen again. Our final incident takes us to the treacherous, icy peaks of Patagonia, Argentina. 3 experienced climbers are caught in a sudden, violent storm and are forced to take shelter in their tent. 2 of them scramble inside first. Moments later, the 3rd climber, their friend, stumbles into the tent behind them. He's wearing his hood, and he's completely silent. He sits down without a word, his face obscured by the shadow of his hood. They try to talk to him, asking if he's okay, but he doesn't answer. It's then that they notice his breathing. It's wrong. There are 2 distinct breathing rhythms layered together. One sounds normal, but underneath it, there's a second, deeper, guttural breath, as if someone else is standing right behind him, breathing in sync. Alarmed, one of the climbers turns on their headlamp and shines it on the hooded figure. He lifts his head, but where his face should be, there's only darkness. A complete void, an abyss. Just as they're processing this horror, the raging storm outside stops abruptly. The wind dies down to nothing, and from just outside the tent, a familiar voice calls out to them. It's their friend. And he asks, "Why did you open the tent?" They rush outside and find him. Their real friend. He's standing right beside the tent, frozen in place, his eyes wide with terror, completely unresponsive. This means the person. The thing that entered the tent with them was not him. They look back inside the tent. The floor is covered in wet, muddy footprints, but the prints only lead into the tent. There are no tracks leading out, and in the center of the muddy floor, drawn with a finger in the dirt, is a symbol, a door, with a figure standing before it, and beneath it, a single, chilling word. Replace. So, what connects these three impossible events? A disappearance in Germany, a phantom voice in Morocco, and a terrifying mimic in Argentina. At first glance, they seem entirely separate, but they are not. All three incidents occurred within the same 7-day period. All three left behind a cryptic, one-word warning message. All three involved inexplicable camera blackouts, time distortions, or physical impossibilities. And most disturbing of all, in the background of the footage from Germany and the distorted signals from the Sahara, and in the chilling silence of the Patagonian mountains, investigators reported sensing or seeing the same thing. A tall, featureless shadow figure lurking just at the edge of perception. Was this a coordinated ritual performed by an unknown entity? Is it a repeating pattern? A glitch in our reality? Are we witnessing a traveler moving between worlds? Or a sentient force that chooses its victims at random? This is what makes episode 6 the most symbolic and unknowable chapter in the series. It's not about finding answers, but about understanding the terrifying scale of the questions. The door is always there. You just never know when you'll be the one to open it. Thanks for joining us for this dark edition of Panoramic Mystery Events. If these stories chilled you to the bone, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We have many more files to open. Stay safe, and always be aware of who, or what, might be waiting on the other side.